prices continue to climb at more than $80 a barrel. They're the highest in 4 years. Now, the latest impetus driving the price higher is imminent U.S. sanctions on Iranian crude exports. OPEC and Russia have been reluctant to raise output to meet demand, despite threats from U.S. President Donald Trump. South Africans are anticipating a fuel price hike of more than R1 next month after the government absorbed this month's hike. Paul Makube is a senior agricultural economist at FNB Business, and he joins us in the studio. Thank you very much for your time, Paul, this evening. Before we get into our conversation, let's just listen to what U.S. President Donald Trump replied against OPEC earlier, saying that the United States will no longer be just consuming, but will be producing for the rest of the world. Let's take a listen to that.
In America, we believe strongly in energy security for ourselves and for our allies. We have become the largest energy producer anywhere on the face of the earth. The United States stands ready to export our abundant, affordable supply of oil, clean coal, and natural gas. OPEC and OPEC nations are, as usual, ripping off the rest of the world. And I don't like it. Nobody should like it. We defend many of these nations for nothing, and then they take advantage of us by giving us high oil prices. Not good. We want them to stop raising prices. We want them to start lowering prices, and they must contribute substantially to military protection from now on. We are not going to put up with it, these horrible prices, much longer.
Paul, so OPEC is ripping off the rest of the world. Just how sustainable is this impasse, and how long can it go on, really?
Well, this impasse will last for as long as Trump is in office. He is determined to fight Iran at all costs. We recently saw shootings in Iran. They are also prepared to retaliate, and I mean, they're fingering the U.S. and its allies over these shootings. So this impasse will take a bit longer. It is interesting that there's a new turn of events in the U.S. Talking about taking on the OPEC, which the cartel which has been controlling the oil trade over decades. And it will be interesting if this will benefit the rest of the countries, such as ourselves, in terms of ensuring that there's some bargaining and ensuring that the world economy doesn't come to a standstill as a result of reluctance to release oil on the market.
Right. We'll explore just how much this will have an impact on us. But OPEC already indicating that they won't up output. What's in it for them anyway?
Exactly. I mean, if you look at the countries that we're talking about, Russia and so on, they have to plug, budgetary problems in their own countries, and therefore, reducing the oil price will have an impact on their domestic finances. So they are prepared to hold on a bit longer. I mean, we're coming from a very low oil price in the 2 years back, where oil prices hovered around $30 per barrel, and they want to recover, and therefore it will be an impasse that will be there for a bit longer until the U.S. starts supplying the world with, as he promised, with the oil. If it happens.
If it happens.
If it happens, yes.
For you and I, what does this mean, essentially? It seems like the perfect storm is brewing here. I mean, with the way our economy is and with the shenanigans happening over there, this can't be good for us.
Yes, it can be good for us. We are a small country. We are a price taker, and we have to depend on what is being supplied globally. And the only thing that we can do is to wait and see. I mean, it's a combination of the dollar-rand exchange rate, the crude oil prices, the increase in crude oil prices, but also it doesn't only affect that, it affects the derivatives of crude oil. I mean, if you talk about the agricultural sector, we're talking about the agrochemicals that are derivatives of crude oil. So you're talking about fuel, you're talking about pesticides, herbicides that are used in agriculture, but also the transportation of goods. The freight rates will start rising as well, which will be added onto an imported product. So therefore, that whole complex will actually impact negatively on the South African consumer.
In terms of the agricultural sector, what can be done to sort of cushion the blow, if anything at all?
If anything at all, I mean, the only thing is to bring about efficiencies in your operations. The fuel price, there's not much we can do in terms of accept the situation that the government has done last month, which is not sustainable. The fiscus is not in good shape. Therefore, they cannot sustain that kind of subsidy that they've provided. So. For the agricultural sector, it's a question of being efficient. It's a question of ensuring that you do proper procurement in time and so on. We're heading into a crop season. Planting time is beginning in a few weeks in the east, and that's a huge cost on the agricultural sector. And we're already seeing declining, demand from hard-pressed consumers. We're going to have another increase in the fuel price that will be even a double whammy on the consumer. Durables are declining. The Reserve Bank has confirmed that recently. So the situation is not good at all from the consumer's side. So the welfare of the consumers is deteriorating. And we have to see what can be done to ensure that we improve the situation. Fortunately, there has been that announcement about the stimulus. Those are long-term impacts. We have almost immediate needs, if you can say that.
How has that stimulus package by the president been received in terms of the agricultural space?
Generally, broadly, well received. Everybody wants to see confidence back in the economy and see some traction and remove those barriers that costs that are unnecessary in businesses. So we're positive that it will have an impact on the economy in general.
We'll just have to tighten our belts and hope we can weather the storm. Thank you very much, Paul, for joining us this evening. Paul Makube, Senior Agricultural Economist at FNB Business. Thank you again for your time.